So my first question for you today is, who are you and what makes you special or what makes you different as a person?
Okay, so my name is Ruvimbo Samanga. I am from Bulawayo, Zimbabwe, and I'm a space enthusiast. And I suppose that that's what makes me different. The fact that I'm not afraid to try new things. I'm not afraid to learn. And I'm not afraid to put myself out there and see ways in which I can make an impact, even in a very small way. I think I've always been a very adventurous person, and probably my biggest skill or personality characteristic is being a risk taker. And I enjoy just doing things that push the boundaries. And I suppose that's what we need today as the youth. We need innovators, we need social entrepreneurs, we need individuals who are not only concerned about impacting their own lives, but changing the lives of others. And I think I've always just had a deep sense of wanting to do more and above my, circumstances for others. And I think that that's essentially what makes me different. I think it's the willingness and the desire to develop myself continuously for the greater good.
Mm-hmm. So you put a lot of effort into your different projects and a lot of time. And I'm interested in, what is it that you do on a daily basis on the one side, and what is it that you're occupied with?
So I work as a space law and policy analyst at Space in Africa, and that's the premier news and market hub for industry trend analysis and developments in the African space industry. And we advise both governmental and non-governmental stakeholders on any policy developments, especially in the African space industry. And I work with both traditional and new space industries as well. I'm also a researcher, so I do a lot of academic work in space law and policy, and I'm currently affiliated with the San Francisco-based Open Lunar Foundation, and they are a quasi-policy institute that works with lunar settlement and development policy. So that's my day job. But on the other hand, I'm also a social entrepreneur, and I enjoy putting myself into projects that help build the community's understanding of space. And some of the things that I'm doing in this regard include working with a startup that makes use of geospatial satellite technology for all sorts of different sectoral uses, and that's called Humbi Tech. It's an Angolan Zimbabwean company. I am also working in space education, developing comic books for children to better understand the technical nature of space. I also have my own small little startup, which I'm starting this year, which is just launched recently, called AgriSpace, which also uses geospatial data for small scale farming. And in between all of that, I'm always doing a lot of conferences, a lot of appearances, a lot of engagements to sort of inspire the youth, especially from Zimbabwe, to not limit themselves, to dream beyond their current circumstances, and to engage with the new fourth industrial revolution, which undoubtedly will make a difference in our economies. So ideally, you will probably find me in outer space, doing all things outer space, and just trying to develop my knowledge as well. I enjoy learning, so I've been doing a lot of seminars. I've been in a lot of Zoom meetings, and I'm also connecting a lot with people to find out what their needs are and how they would hope that space would benefit them. A very exciting project that I'm looking forward to, which is being launched this month actually, is a new blog and podcast with my good friend Juliana Rotola. And together we are fellows at the Open Lunar Foundation, and we wanted to bring moon policy to the people in a way that's engaging and that's fun, and in a way that people can truly understand the benefits that outer space holds for everyone, even if it may seem very far removed from our reality. I could go into a lot of detail on all of the different things I'm working on, a lot of competitions, a lot of future projects, even a documentary that will be aired on TV soon regarding all of the activities I've been doing. And even with the students here in Zimbabwe, we're working on some very cool projects, including a future rocket launch. And that's something to definitely look forward to in the productions that we'll be making in that regard. And we've partnered with a number of international organizations that are so excited to build the space ecosystem here in Africa. And we look to just promoting space for Africa as much as possible. So as much as I am a career person, I'm also a social entrepreneur person, and I like to keep a good balance of both. And I think I've done very well in that regard.
I'm impressed by that.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's very impressive. I would be interested in, why do you do that? Why do you put your time in there? You mentioned your work for the space company, but also your social. You're really social driven by what you do, and I'm interested in why do you do that? Which drive behind that? Which thought drives you? So what is it that you want to change with your time? Why do you put all that time in there? Why are you so driven by that purpose?
I think it's because of the potential that I see, not only in myself, but I think in the industry as well. Space, when space comes to mind for most people, they think of spaceships and Mars and things that are far out of this world, but really the benefits are much closer to home. And especially when I consider the unique African challenges we experience here, and I see the vitality of using the space industry as a way to achieve sustainable development, it makes me quite excited to see what are some of the possibilities. Where could we actually drive Africa to with this kind of technology? And not only just drive Africa, but even become one of the global leaders in the space sector, owing to the industry experience we have in certain areas. For example, the mining industry, which of course, Africa is the capital of the mining industry. And sorry, that's just my dog.
It's all right.
I'll just give her, she's very excited to see me. Okay, I think we're good, almost. In any case, I'll just start that thought again. Sorry about that. So basically, it's about seeing the potential that the space industry has in terms of Africa's development and wanting to really mold Africa into a future global space leader. And I was giving the example of the extractive industry, which Africa is the mining capital of the world. And when you consider some of the things that are developing in outer space, such as asteroid mining or lunar mining, you would think that Africa should be the forerunner of such an endeavor, having had that industry practice. Or for instance, if we think of how big an agricultural or mining capital that Africa is, satellite technology for those purposes would really boost that industry in a way that it could support not only Africans' development, but the whole world's development as well. And this is simply just technology we're not tapping into because of a lack of awareness. So my job really, and what motivates me, is to get people to know this, to get people to understand how beneficial it is, and to get people to invest in it, because space more than ever is becoming more and more accessible. And space really is the next frontier for humanity. And the objective really is to make sure that Africa is not left behind in this very crucial development in our humankind history. And day by day, I think I'm just always in awe of just how much there is to learn about the space industry. I think I've always wanted a career that excites me, and that's exactly what I have in this space law and policy career. I'm always learning something new, and I'm always having my mind blown every single day. And that in itself is motivating in its own self, because you're just encouraged daily to see that progress, not only in your own development, but in the industry. And it feels like you're part of something very, very big. And you obviously want to contribute to that, because I think in the next few years, space is really going to take off. You can see it not only in the developed world, but even in the developing world as well. Currently, the African space industry is worth about $7 billion US. And this is only after about a couple of years active in the industry. It's expected to be worth $10 billion US by 2024. And I think this is just a sign of the potential and the immense growth that is possible. I mean, who doesn't want to be a part of something that's going to be the next big thing? So day by day, I just sit with that realization and that anxiety and that anticipation that soon all of these efforts will really be worth it. And we can sit back and say we had a hand to play in that, and it will be a very exciting thing to celebrate.
Do you have something in mind you would like to mention? Maybe a thought you had during the last weeks, or maybe an advice for younger people who are watching that? Is there something you would like to share?
Definitely. I think we live in a time where opportunities are limitless and your potential is really untapped. I think this is the best time more than ever to put yourself out there and not be afraid to make mistakes. I think growing up, we really put ourselves under a lot of pressure to get things right all of the time. But I think this is really the age where risk taking is allowed. Making mistakes is allowed. putting yourself out there, and failing is allowed. If you're not failing, it means you're not trying hard enough. If you're not failing, it means your dreams aren't big enough, and you need to continue to put yourself out there until you achieve what it is you're trying to achieve. I would say don't hold back. Be unapologetically you and continue to strive to what you believe in, even if it's not a conventional thought. I think we sometimes want to put ourselves in a box of the normal and the conventional and what is safe. But I think the most fulfilling aspects of life is doing something that you would have thought and other people would have thought is not possible, and doing it well. So I just encourage everyone to tap into their inner desires and really push themselves in a way they've never done before. And even though we're in such a scary and precarious time and confusing time, I think now more than ever, there's just a shift that's occurred in the way that we think about life and the world. And I would say take advantage of this shift and use this as an opportunity to redirect yourself and realign yourself with your true inner self and really tap into whatever potential you've been sleeping on.
Thank you very much.